Hello. I'm Vita Palladino, the director of the Howard Gotlieb Archival Research Center. I know it's on your mind. Why are we sponsoring the Boston Ballet at Boston University? For you, for the students, so you can expose yourself to a different art form that you might not have seen before, or you might have seen a regional company that is not as good as this fine company. The artistic director, Mikko Nisanen, has really changed this company. And you are coming into Boston at a great time when there are many great opportunities to visit great art. And I am so grateful to the Boston Ballet and these members of the company for coming here and experiencing what it's like to talk to students. It's probably been a while, I bet. And to interact with you so you're able to ask questions of them on how difficult their profession is. Each person here is a biography and a history of the profession. They have to have dedication, they have to have loyalty, they have to have passion and obsession to do this very difficult art. It's an art form that is mathematics, it's physics, it's music, it's love, passion, and it's something that combines many other art forms. When you go to a ballet, you're seeing the theater design is art, really. You're combining music, choreography, a story, and then the expression of each dancer you're seeing in that performance. The combination is very powerful. So our hope at the Gotlieb Center is that we wish you to come and see our exhibitions, do our student seminars, so you can see some of the papers of the dancers that we have, like Jean Kelly, Fred Astaire, Dame Alicia Markova, and the people in the arts, in journalism, literature. And always remember this, history is recorded by our arts. You know, science is full of discovery and it improves our life, but at the end of the day, it is the arts that records our history. So we want you to support the arts, and we want you to be the future dance audience in America. So I'm going to now stop talking and introduce Cheryl Flato is the Director of Public Relations, and she's been at the Boston Ballet for 1 year. She has done a wonderful job with the newsletter, and she's full of ideas and pep. And I will let her take over and introduce the dancers. Thank you.
I have come up. Thank you, Vita. Also, can we get that second mic up here? We only have one mic. I think. Right. Okay. Thanks. It's not often that you get a ballet panel made up exclusively of male dancers, but we felt it was particularly appropriate tonight because of the ballet they're going to be performing beginning October 19th. Before I introduce the panel, I want to talk to you a little bit about Don Quixote, particularly Rudolf Nureyev's production. Question, how many of you have ever seen a production of Don Quixote? Oh, a lot of you have, that's great. How many of you have read Cervantes' novel? Okay, well then I don't really need to do this introduction, but for those of you who don't, that's very impressive, by the way, really impressive. Since most of you have read the novel, I'm not going to give you as much background as I was going to, but just the book, the first part of the book was published in 1605, second part 10 years later. It's often referred to as the first modern novel, and when it was first done, it was originally viewed as a parody of the most popular genre of the period, novels of chivalry. But in the ensuing 400 years, attitudes and opinions about the book have evolved. By the 20th century, Don Quixote was being recognized for his observations and ideas about the human condition, insights that have remained pertinent for 4 centuries. The tragicomic novel follows the adventures of an old man who transforms himself into a knight errant and travels through Spain with his faithful squire Sancho Panza. The idealistic Don Quixote represents the noble ideas of integrity, righteousness, and beauty as he struggles against a corrupt society. That's the novel, it's not the ballet. There have been ballets based on the novel as far back as 1740. The familiar 20th century productions are inspired by an 1869 production for Moscow's Bolshoi Theater, written and choreographed by Marius Petipa, the father of Russian ballet. The focus of his production became two minor characters who are now major characters from the novel, Basilio, a barber, and Kitri, an innkeeper's daughter, whose father is intent on marrying her off to the wealthy, foolish Gamache. Don Quixote wanders through with Sancho Panza, trying to right wrongs and having visions of Dulcinea. Nureyev choreographed his first Don Quixote in Vienna in 1966, and it became one of his greatest successes. He staged the ballet several more times, including Australia, Paris, and in 1982 in Boston, where he danced the leading role of Basilio with Boston Ballet both here and on a tour of the United States, Mexico, and Europe. He once said he choreographed Don Quixote to provide another vehicle for myself and to preserve what is left of Petipa. With Don Quixote, I wanted a comic part, and since no choreographer has ever offered me one, I did this. Nureyev's production is noted for its clear storytelling, and especially for the challenges he gave the male dancers. The women's choreography in the ballet is pretty much the same as in most other productions, but the level of difficulty for the men is enormous, which is why we invited these 6 men to discuss the ballet and dancing in general. So I want to start by having each of them introduce themselves and tell you where they're from and which part they're playing in the ballet.
My name is James Whiteside, and I'm from Connecticut, and my roles in Don Quixote are a matador and gamache.
I'm Carlos Molina from Colombia, South America, and I'm playing the Espada, the Matador.
My name is John Lamb. I'm from San Francisco, California, and I'm doing matadors and fishermen.
My name is Gabor Kopin. I'm from Hungary, and I'm doing the gypsies, one of the gypsies, fishermen, and fandango, all the corps de ballet roles.
Hi, my name is Bo Busby. I'm from South Carolina, and I'm doing in Don Q Matadors and Gypsy Father. So.
Hi, my name is Sabi Varga. I'm from Hungary, and I'm doing Espada, Don Quixote, and Matadors.
Okay. And you notice we don't have a Basilio. We had a Basilio, but at the last minute he couldn't make it. But we're going to start by talking a little bit about the choreography for Basilio in this production. Nureyev clearly created the role for himself, and he added a solo in the first act that is not in other productions of the ballet. And someone recently said to me that the part has every hard step in it that was ever created. And I'm wondering, just from your observations of it, if you think that's true and what makes that solo so difficult.
I think it's true, yes. It is very difficult. Those are the steps. He put the steps together that you don't want to do, and especially not in order, not one after the other. And I just think it takes a tremendous technicality to do it, and it's in the beginning of the ballet, and it's very, very hard.
When you say
demanding.
Steps that you don't want to do, what do you mean by that?
They're a little bit uncomfortable, very difficult, and very demanding on your body. That's it.
Also, most dancers have a good side and a bad side, and he sometimes decided to do both sides, so whether you like it or not, you have to do double tours to the right and left, and you have to do all the stuff that to your bad side as well as to your good side.
You also have to know that Nureyev was a little bit first person, mainly. He would take himself, quite seriously, and I think that he definitely created this Don Q on himself, mainly the man parts, especially, and they truly very uncomfortable. But it's a great challenge for a male dancer, of course, because you can rise to something that was considered, he was considered for dancing sort of like an Einstein of dancing. You know what I mean? If you can try to match that or just get close to that, I think you halfway done.
He made, obviously, the choreography of Basilio is difficult, but apparently the choreography for every man in this ballet is difficult. Carlos and Sabi, you're playing the Matador Espada. What kind of challenges did he throw your way?
First of all, you have a cape. And the cape is mainly around your body, wrapped around it. So you feel like sort of trapped in a spider web. You can't really use your arms, so you have to only use your legs. So it's not exactly, as I said, it's not really comfortable. But the interesting thing is when you're doing the role, or you sing the role, usually it looks very, light. But afterwards, when you're in the wings, it's not like that. Yeah.
Well, I think most of the stuff, mostly it's not really technically very difficult to do. It just, to me, feels a little bit more uncomfortable. Some of the stuff is not really the most comfortable thing to do. Some of it, or most of it actually, will get to feel actually a little bit unorganic for some of the people. Sometimes when you want to do a step to one side or take it to the other side, he makes it go to the other side. So it's not the most comfortable thing to do. Savi was saying some of the stuff with the cape is a little bit uncomfortable. And also besides that, you also have the challenge of the steps, which are quite difficult. And also musicality is a little bit challenging as well.
You use the word unorganic, and it's a word that I hear a lot with the choreography. I don't know, is it just your part, or in general, do you feel that it's a little bit awkward?
Let me see if I can put this in perspective.
And feel free to show them if you want.
All right. You're in a straitjacket, and you are booking it down a hallway, and all of a sudden you have to do a giant leap backwards. Not okay. On top of that, you have to make it art, which is by far the hardest part. You can take someone off the street and say, do this, and they can kind of get the gist, But honestly, the hardest part is making it artistic and beautiful and like theatrical and fantastic, because that's what ballet is. You don't go to see horses clomping around on stage at the ballet, come on. So that, I think, is a big problem that the dancers face with this production, where you find it really hard to make it feel good, let alone look good. But we get the job done.
Gabor, you're a fisherman in this. And again, that presents its own challenges, not being a fisherman, but just the choreography he gave to it. What is it about that part that's particularly challenging?
A few things, actually. The dance, by the way, is really nice. It's really good. And once you get it in your body, it's a lot of fun. In the beginning, however, it feels uncomfortable, just as the other parts. And the musicality and the details, it's so detailed. There's so many little things that you have to do right. And you get overwhelmed in the beginning, but after a while, once you get it in your body and you start doing it more and more, then it feels good and it feels fun. What else did you ask?
That was basically it. I mean, also, do you because it's very balletic. I mean, the steps are very balletic, but I think there's also kind of Spanish flair too.
Oh yeah. The style is very important. That's actually the most important, probably, because you want to create this Spanish, atmosphere. You want to create that hot Mediterranean look, and in the eyes, and looking at the partner and dancing around and really having fun. Right, John? You're in it too. Why don't you say something?
Well, John,
I'll say, I do fisherman also, and I agree with Gabor about everything that he said.
well, we're not going to let you off that. You also do gypsy.
Yeah, I actually do the gypsy boy lead, and that's very hard. Particularly for me, it's very hard because it's not natural at all for me. And we also have to dance with a wrapped up whip, which is, one of those whips. But it's wrapped around, and it's not really tied because we have to use it also in a different scene. So there's that kind of thinking back of your head, oh, maybe the whip will loosen out, and we still have to keep on dancing. And the dance is very, very hard, especially on the legs, because there's a lot of turns and jumps going down to the ground and up, and it's very fast, and it's not easy just to like do it at all. It tears up the body a lot.
And yet it looks so effortless.
Yeah, we try.
A couple of you are doing, one of you said you were doing Gamache, and you're doing Gamache, and somebody is also doing Don Quixote? Are you doing Don Quixote? Okay. Have you started doing Gamache yet?
No, not yet, but I was here last 4 years ago. God, I've been here for a while. And the part is this extremely wealthy suitor who wants to marry Kitri, and it's basically just a comedian. You know, it's this really, really funny, cute part that really gets the crowd going and into it, and it's just really great choreography for this character. It's really
Well, I'm wondering, can you get the character strictly through the steps? And you may have observed this also with Don Quixote. I don't know, because I don't know how much you've seen. But is it all in the steps, or is there something that you have to create beyond that?
Well, with story ballets, you have the steps, which contribute to the story only so much. And I think the dancer is responsible for bringing that extra bit, you know, where you can really understand what's going on. You know, you can't just do the steps. It doesn't come off, you know.
Mm. How many of you have danced in other productions of Don Quixote? Okay, we haven't heard. Let's start with Bo, because we haven't heard from you yet. I'm curious as to, I mean, we've talked about the level of difficulty for the men in this. Aside from that, are there other things that are very different about this production than other productions you've been in or seen?
Definitely. For this one, like they said, the steps are a little bit unnatural and not so fun. But when I was in ABT, I did the same matadors, but there it's called toreadors. And there it was like fun, you know, because when you were a kid, you ran around with the cape and everything, and this you had a cape and you were running around and doing the same thing. But the steps feel better. Everything kind of goes with the music, and you're really feeling it. And like with the character acting and stuff, you have to do the next step. Like, you wouldn't just take a sip of the drink, you would take a sip how this person would or whatever. So it's a lot different each company, because each director has their things that they want to get across and how they want to show their dancers off.
Carlos, did you also dance in other productions?
Yes.
Thank you. Were there other things aside from what Bo was talking about that were they generally easier?
Well, I would say as everything, you have to really get it in the body and get used to it and make it comfortable for yourself. But most of the other versions that I've done, it's easier to get used to them. So what?
Well, one thing, I get the impression that this one does accent the Spanish style more than others I've seen, I think. And I'm just wondering if from things you've been in or you've seen, if you think that's true. I mean, I think there's even a little bit more Spanish dancing in this one.
I think so too, yeah. I agree with that. I've seen plenty of other productions, and this one has by far the most Spanish style in it, and all the arms and all the movements and head and everything. But we're talking that everybody's saying it's so difficult and it's so uncomfortable, which it is, but in the end, I think, and just looking at some of the rehearsals, I think it's that much better too. In the end, if it comes together, and we hope that it will, then it's going to be really amazing. It's going to be not like any other Don Quixote that you've seen, and not that I've seen either, so.
And also don't forget that we already done this production, so it is difficult, but some of us already danced these roles, and we just make it seem a little worse than it is.
Because they want you to see how absolutely terrific they are when you finally get there. When you were saying before that you think it's better than any other production, what about it do you think makes it better?
I can't think of the details, because some of the dances in general, it's in a certain style, it's in the Spanish style, yeah, and you can see that in every other Don Quixote too. But learning this one is taking way more than learning any other ballet, I think. The little steps and the little details and the little arms and the little bends and all these things add up to it, and in the end, it looks better. That's it.
Is the storytelling, I mean, the storytelling is very clear in this, and from the productions I've seen, like when ABT's, when Baryshnikov production, it was a lot of fun. There was like no story. Is the storytelling better than in other productions that you've seen in general? Is it clearer? I mean, do you think that if people walked in and didn't know much about the story, that they could actually understand what's going on?
Yeah, they would definitely get more of a story here because everybody, like you said, all the details are very accented because they have the time to space it out, and you need to do this with your head, and it's not here, it's here. There's just that much of a little difference. And in ABT, you're rehearsing 17 ballets, so you're lucky to get that one on stage at that night. But when it comes on, it's just all the dancers just having fun because we're dancing. We're dancers, we like to dance. But here you see the work that goes into it, and it pays off in the end because the story comes across a lot easier. You see this person is that, and this person has this relationship with this person, and it works out a lot better.
Also, a big contributing factor, I think, is the level of difficulty that we've been talking about this entire time. When you're watching gymnastics or something and you see someone do a double backflip, you want to see someone do a triple backflip. And so we're doing triple backflips, pretty much. It's really difficult, entertaining, fun. It's all of these things that you want in one pretty little package, So even though we're talking about how difficult it is and how much we want to jump off a cliff, that's why it's better. And you have these group dances that are just fantastic, all these people moving in unison, it's fantastic. And then you have this storyline, which is delivered so beautifully through the choreography that it's just, you're good. It's good.
Well, that was a nice segue because you were talking about things that excite the audience. And there are certain aspects of dancing that always excite an audience, and it's sort of from great jumping to great turning. Some men are great at both. Some are better at one than the other. Why is it that some guys have an easier time mastering one than the other? Does it have anything to do with height? Does it have to do with training, with your build?
With everything. It's like one person can cook better than the other, and the other person can make the bed better than the other. So you can practice some things, but I mean, it depends what God gave you. It's things that it's anatomy. How you build, how your bone structure, how much can you push your body, how much you can, do. It's really up to one person, and it's up to your body sometimes. So one person is more flexible, the other person is stronger, But we try to compensate. That's what we do when we dance. It's like, it's a little bit cheating, if I'm honest, because you only see it from that angle. But if you would watch it from the side, it would be very different. It would be almost ugly. But not really. It's a different feeling. But what I'm saying is that it's a little bit cheating. But that's the part of the art form as well, of course.
Explain cheating.
Cheating is like, if I stand here, I look different than if I would be standing like that compared to standing like that. You would look different.
Well, I think as anything, everybody is different. So you have to really take whatever you do and make it your own. So that you feel comfortable with it and that you make it look the best for you. So I think it depends. We all have different qualities, different things. And we have to work it based on what we have and to make it look good that way.
I think we've been talking about body types and bone structure, and that is all very important. But I think actually most important is your mental state and what your attitude is towards dance and ballet, because that what in the end will determine what kind of dancer you become, how good you're going to be, how explosive are you going to be? And it's yes, it's in your feet a lot, but it's a lot more in your head than in your feet. So yes, certain people are born with better abilities, but if you can work better up here, then that will show down there too. So I just wanted to add that.
It's almost like, I was always told it's like every dancer has like, it's like a salad bowl. Like everybody gets the same sort of salad bowl, and everybody gets the same ingredients, everybody gets the same this and that. Maybe someone will get like more salt than pepper, or some might have this and that. But at the end, it depends how you present that salad at the end. And it's how you do it and how you want to get there. It's like if you want just like a cheap salad, just go and get like, go to Shaw's and get like a salad bowl and just like make it yourself, or Taco Bell. Or you can go to like Whole Foods and get like a nice organic salad. And go like all organic, not spinach, because we can't eat spinach now. But you know, it depends on how you present yourself, and like Albor said, it's in the mental state. But yeah, no spinach for now.
Did you want to say something? Okay. I can't go to spinach, but
I love spinach, that's why.
And it's really on your mind right now. Companies are always looking for good male partners. What makes a good partner? Well,
Well, I think it depends. I think for me, partnering is not up to one person, actually. It's the work between the two, you know. And it has to be, you have to have a lot of coordination between the two of you, a lot of communication. Of course, there is strength involved in it, technique. But you have to learn to work with the other person and to make it work based on the two of them, you know. So I think that's...
It's true. And for what I always think is that I've been told by a lot of people and my wife that the first important...
Who's in the company? That's why...
Yes, she's a dancer as
Melanie Atkins.
That while you're dancing with a girl or a ballerina, that time you only make her look the most beautiful woman on stage. And to me, it's always important, and I always remember that when I dance with somebody, I have to make her look the best. And when my time comes, I'll try to match that. But when I'm dancing with someone that is right in front of me, in that moment, that person is the most important, if they are nice, of course, with you, which Carlos said already. But yes, it's a lot of trust besides that, of course. But to me, that's the most important part.
Do taller men have an advantage in partnering? Not so much because they're taller, but also because are shorter men sometimes passed over or put into certain... Okay, yes, I know that. Go.
I think it's all about your mind statement, as Gabor said it earlier. Yes, you can be this small and still can lift the tallest girl in the company.
I think there is an assumption that the taller guys can partner better. That is not true. It's the same thing as technique. Everyone comes with, with their package, with their abilities and skills, and some people are better at it than others. But actually, I just wanted to say that partnering is the best part in ballet. Really, it's the best. To me, it feels so good to make this girl look good and to be and support her. And it's the most beautiful thing also, because dancing in a couple or couples it's more beautiful than dancing by yourself. But dancing by yourself is very nice, of course, and it's very satisfying in a way. But to me, I actually get more satisfaction dancing with someone than just dancing by myself. That's it.
John, do you want to weigh in on this, since you seem to have a different opinion?
No, I agree. I mean, I feel that. I mean, I'm short, and I feel like I'm short in the company, so I get passed a lot with doing just short roles. And it's like the matador. It's like James and Bo are very tall, and I'm a matador, so I'm like the shrimp one. And matadors are supposed to be very tall and very noble and stuff, but I mean, what can you do? I mean, I'm built the way I am, so. But I do agree that sometimes we do get passed along.
Ballet is like a lot of art where you're being directed to do something, and you tend to get typecast. You know, the tall guys tend to do all the partnering roles and more princely, majestic things. And you know, then there you have the shorter guys, which are often typecast as the bravura, doing like lead gypsy, and which is this really like butch, like jumping around, kicking your legs stuff.
That's why it's a problem.
So, you know, it's really hard to overcome that, you know, because nobody likes to be typecast.
Well, I guess that will depend also on the vision of the artistic director or whoever is setting up the ballet. Or it depends on what they have in mind for the character as well. So they will put whoever they want to put according to whatever they have in mind for the character. You know, so.
And for the girl, it depends who the girl is. Then they want to find someone that looks good with the girl. Not only that he looks good with the girl, but they have a certain chemistry on stage that comes across, because that's very important.
And I just wanted to say something for the typecast. It's not necessarily bad. I mean, sometimes when you're typecast of saying like you're more of like a lyrical dancer, but the artistic director wants to push you more as a bravura dancer. I mean, at the end it could be good because he's trying to push you in something that's more of the weaker side of you. So he's trying to make more of a rounded dancer, which at the end is better because it's saying, you know, if you're gonna just wear pink shoes all day, like, you know, you have to like mix it up sometimes so that you can have all the colors of the rainbow. So it's, you know, I had to say rainbow, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's so typecasting isn't necessarily bad. Sometimes it makes us uneasy about when casting goes up, but at the end it could be good.
So ladies, John is single.
I can't either. Okay, moving on. Do you guys? I'm changing the subject. Do you guys look to each other as role models or seek advice from each other?
I look to these guys as role models. I've looked at Carlos Molina for a long time now. He's the man. He's tall like me, you know, and I was like, he's got good feet, he's got good legs, he's got good technique, he's a good partner. I was like, I want to be like him. So, yeah, I mean, and John and James, they both have like amazing feet and legs and like jumps and all this stuff, and I'm kind of new to the company. This is my first year. And so, yeah, you always look at the other people. Like when I was in ABT, all the stars were there. I mean, Angel Correa, you know, Armand Conejo, all these people, they were like amazing. You get to see them every day doing the craziest things you've ever seen. And it's like, you know, it makes you work harder and it makes you want to become a better dancer by watching, you know, people like them. So.
I just think that, you know, we all can learn from everybody. Everybody's different, as I say, and there are ways to, you know, even from people who maybe they will do something that is not the most proper, you know, that is not the proper way to do, and then you will see, if you are aware of that, you'll think, okay, that's not the way to do it, I should do it this way, you know what I mean? And so we all can learn from everybody, even if it's good or bad, or it doesn't matter, but there's something to learn from anybody anyway. So.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing that everybody's like. How do I say this? Of course, yeah, we're ballet dancers, but everybody's individual. So everybody has an individual taste and an individual way of how they dance. So I think that's why it's amazing that our company is so international. That there's so many people from different countries, and you can learn no matter what from all these different people. And our company is very young also, so it's good to see what's happening with the new generation coming in and learning from it, because you keep on learning. Dancing is not just dancing, going on stage and putting production on. It's a constant learning and relearning and being inspired and all this stuff. Okay, got the snap. I think we have to go.
Well, actually, we're all going to go for a few minutes and then return, because we're going to show you the Adagio from Don Quixote, and then open up the remaining minutes to questions. Marina Gendel is the pianist for this, so she's going to join us on stage. But before we go out, the dancers that you're going to see are Erica Cornejo and Nelson Madrigal. And Erica, who's married to Carlos, is the newest principal dancer in the company, and this is her first public appearance with Boston Ballet, so you're in for a treat. And the music is Ludwig Minkus, arranged by John Lanchberry, and the pianist is Marina Gendel. And before we go, can somebody, again, this Adagio is based on the Petipa Adagio, but it's harder. Can one of you just talk briefly about what is difficult for the male in this Adagio?
You're the only one who does it.
I don't know. I mean, some of the steps are uncomfortable. No, but let's say some of the grips for some partnering, when usually it's done by maybe let's say by gripping. Yeah. Maybe they will do him holding up their shoulders, and they will change the step, just little details of the steps that will make them a little bit more challenging.
Are the accents of the steps different also?
Accent and musicality is very different. Just for fun, I walked kind of through it with Erica just before everyone got here, and just to feel what it feels like. And it's not the common Don Quixote parade that you will see. And I was feeling a bit funny there, because it is not that ordinary. It's a bit more spicy, actually. It's good.
Okay, so we're going to remove ourselves, bring them out, and then you can ask questions.
Yeah. Can we go?
Whoops.
Are we going back?
Yes.
Can we talk more?
We're going to take questions from them out there.
I like it. This is fun.
You're real good. You're real good. You're going to be doing more of these. Yeah. I do too. We can go out.
Can we?
Yeah, let's go out. We're going to go watch.
You want to watch?
Yeah.
Did it?
I'm okay. And if Nelson and Erica would like to join us, we would love to have them out here. I want to open this up
I
to
started
you
sweating.
when they calm down. Any questions? There's a microphone set up over there, and there's a microphone set up on the other side. Oh, I see. And it's going to bring it around. Okay. There was, Sean, there was one down here.
What makes a good female partner, and what makes a bad female partner?
Someone that just, if she's not on her leg, she's like, put me on my leg. Instead of, what can we do together to make this work? Instead of just, why aren't you doing that? What's wrong with you? Obviously it's the guy's fault. No. In partnering, I was always taught that if something's wrong, it is the guy's fault because, that's how it is. But also, the girl can help. She can hold herself. If a girl just goes into a lift and is like, it's not going to look as pretty, as if she's, holding herself and all that. But it still is the guy's fault. Anyway.
And there are women who are difficult to partner, though. I mean, is it just that, or there's some of them who don't, they just don't use their weight properly?
Well, you always are experiencing some sort of a discomfort or some pain in your body. It's never perfect, right? And when you're working with someone, you have to deal with their pain and their body as well. So sometimes a girl needs a little bit more of a push in certain places because their ankle is not moving that well, and they need to be on their toes, and it makes it a good partner if they let you know that, or if they're willing to work with you actually, and not just demand everything.
Well, just as I'm sorry.
I also think that you have to work for it. Either way, by yourself is that you have to work with the partner on it. Even if somebody is actually not a really good partner as a girl or not a really good partner as a man, either way, or female or male, the thing you can do is actually see what they're not good at and try to help them to realize what they can fix in their partnering, in the technical part of it and in the personality as well. It depends how you approach it, because since we're both human, if the female does, that's not how you're supposed to hold me, and the guy does, but I have to hold you like this, don't tell me that, then yeah, it's like a relationship really, so you're not gonna get from me to, B or Z or wherever you wanna go. You have to really talk to each other as friends or co-workers. You can't disrespect each other like that. And that does happen sometimes, but every art form has its, and job has its backfires.
Carlos, you were going to say something, and we don't want to deprive you.
No, just the thing that I said before. I think there has to be a lot of communication in between the two of them, and coordination, strength, technique as well, because there are ways to do things. Each of them, they have to be aware of. So, for a man, they have to have know how to hold a woman to make them, look good in their position. But also for the woman, is they have to know what position they have to get into as well. So it's a work between the two of them.
Any other questions?
What are the biggest mental challenges in ballet, and how do you use your mind as a tool to help you?
One of the big mental challenges is, like he was saying, every day you come in with a new pain. Like you're standing at the bar and you're like, wow, my hips hurt, my knees hurt, my ankles hurt, but yet you keep pushing everything and you keep going because in the end, it's going to pay off, because you're going to be better, and you're going to, if you keep pushing and you get over that hill, it's like with every sport, you have to run the mile, but you can't just start off by running the mile. You have to keep up going and stuff like that. So.
Actually, it's a little bit like you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror. You remember how you look in the mirror in the morning? Now multiply that 6 hours. We're doing that in front of the mirror. You're like, oh my God, I look like that? Come on.
See, where things don't matter to you guys, say, we stare at ourselves in the mirror for 6 hours, and it makes us angry to see when our knees don't straighten, or something so simple like that. And I find that to be one of the greatest mental challenges. You're like, why does my elbow look like that? Like, come on, really? Yeah, so be glad you don't have to worry about that. I mean, of course, it's getting over that hill to where you're like, wow, that looks better, and which is ridiculously rewarding. It's such a nice feeling when you really feel like you're improving at something like that.
I just wanted to say that ballet is, of course, it's not very natural at first, and they can teach you only so much. So you have to figure it out, really, because yes, a teacher can teach you a lot of things, but in the end, you really have to come up with your own something to it that will make you a dancer and make you a good dancer and a partner as well. So that's a big mental challenge. It's huge. I'm still struggling.
But also, just besides the technical aspect of the dance, I think it's also very important what you give to dance as as an art, and those little things that might not be perfect for us or for anybody else, we have to try to cover them with artistry. So sometimes, I don't know, we worry too much about technique and the little things that may not work. I mean, we work every day on class for to make a technique perfect, to make it look better every day. But I mean, to me, dance is not only technique. I mean, this is an art. It's an art form. And so there is so much more to it than just steps and those little things, So just that.
I just got a signal back there that I have 2 minutes, so we have time for one more question.
I have a question. I wanted to know, how conscious are you of your weight and what you do to either maintain it or...
Very conscious. Only eat cereal. No, I'm just kidding. Absolutely, there is no. We went to Taco Bell before we come here. When you move for a whole day, you don't really have to really worry about it. I think there is things that you can eat that is better for you, but I think it's like a pregnant lady. When she wants to eat something, she will get it. And when I'm hungry, I want to eat something, and I know what I want. I eat it. I eat anything. We don't really, personally, I don't, but I don't know a lot of people that worries about their weight so much.
I agree with Sabi. I don't think a lot of guys need to worry about their weight or anything, but it's not like, I mean, maybe some dancers love to eat junk food a lot, but I think when it comes to health or something, there's some dancers that really like to keep it really healthy, and like there's a lot of dancers that are vegetarians. They don't eat meat. There are some dancers that only eat meat, or like there's different. It just depends on how you like. It just depends on how you are able to get the energy of what you need in order to dance to the optimum for your ability.
And also for, like James was saying, you stand in front of the mirror all day, every day, and so that's why some of the girls, they see another girl that's really skinny, and they look at her in the mirror, and they're like, why don't I look like that? And that's where it becomes, the girls get more conscious about what they eat. But like we all, if we're not chewing, there's something wrong. For the guys, we eat all the time. But yeah.
And that's true. I can vouch for that. And we have to stop there. But I want to thank all of you for participating in this, and thank all of you for coming.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about $20 for a ticket. almost the price of a CD.
Thank you.
And you
Let me
can
plug
go
this.
see the Boston Ballet. Cheryl's going to tell
No,
you.
he's going to, James is going to plug it because he's great at it.
All right, so we have $20 student rush tickets, and well, maybe the cost of a CD, which you probably don't buy anymore because you rip them off the internet. So go see the ballet.
And the tickets, there are tickets on sale right out in the lobby, and you can also, if you don't get them tonight, you can get them at the Wank Theater box office or at the Ballet Building.
Go buy them.
It's $20 cash. Thank you.
Thank you.